Good morning, everybody. This is the Marshall County Board of Supervisors regular session meeting on December 20th, 2022 at 9:05 in the Marshall County Courthouse, first floor, meeting room 1 East Main Street, Marshalltown, Iowa. We are called to order. This is a notice to the public. The Board of Supervisors welcomes comment from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You are requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given an opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chair to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate and a roll call vote will follow. Sherry, would you call the roll, please?
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Here.
Thompson.
Here. Would everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll entertain motions to approve or amend the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as printed. Any further discussion, questions, or comments? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. This is an auspicious day. We have a 20-year service award for Sheriff Joel Phillips. Joel is one of the people I think most highly of in all of the individuals I work with. He's worked for Marshall County for 20 years, rising up through the ranks over those years, and was appointed sheriff when we had a vacancy by this board unanimously. It was probably, in my opinion, one of our finest decisions that I think we've made in our years on the board. There was no question about it. An extremely good individual. People are flowing to his leadership and to his organization that he runs. Many municipalities and counties throughout the state are struggling with their staffing. Joel is at 100% staffing. Some of these recent individuals have come from other agencies. That speaks extremely highly of the individual at the top of our heap for sheriff and also for the organization. Good people flow to good management and effective and respectful leadership. Joel, would you please come up? We've got a 20-year service, and would you like to give a few words before we give you your award? If so, the podium is yours,
I can
sir.
keep it brief. 20 years has gone by just like a blink of an eye. A farm kid from rural Marshall County, and to be in this position is truly an honor. I give credit to my mentors. And being surrounded by people that actually have confidence in my abilities and work together for a successful agency. So I give credit for the people that help me and that work with me. Like I said before, one of the greatest privileges is to be able to serve in a public that you grew up in. It's been truly an honor. I don't think I have 20 years left in me, but it's going really fast. I enjoy every day that I come to work. I enjoy the people that I interact with, through the hard times and through the good times. It's been an enjoyable journey, and I'd like to continue on that if given the opportunity. So I thank the supervisors for the kind words.
You betcha. They were very easy to do in this particular instance. Robert, if you would, I would like all three supervisors to stand with Joel when he gets his certificate. We proudly appointed him, and it's an honor to stand shoulder to shoulder with this fine individual.
I'll let you go first.
Can we get on each side
I'll
of
try
you?
not to
Joe?
screw up your picture.
We're not holding you up, we're just trying to make the picture look
You're
good.
surrounded now.
Sure. You can scoot a little closer.
Yeah.
if you want. There you go.
You know, most people get a little nervous when they're surrounded by Marines. I have a tendency to find great comfort in it.
Joel, enjoyed working with you.
Thank you very much. Joel, did you mention your parents at all? Were they a part of it? They had their doubts. They had their doubts.
You found a way to do a downer, didn't you?
No, I didn't either.
We also have another certificate of appreciation this morning. This individual is not able to make it with us. Tracy Anderson. Tracy works as one of our courthouse security officers. Tracy was with another agency years ago and came to work for Marshall County, and we'd like to congratulate him on his 5 years of service. So Tracy, you can pick up your certificate from Joel. Your certificate, suitable of framing, by the way. We'll go from there. Okay, on to item 6 on our agenda this morning is the consent agenda. We will approve the minutes of December 6th, 2022, and file receipt of the November 2022 claims list. We will be approving the claims as audited, approve claims as audited, and authorize the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listings of claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the current month will be published as part of the first meeting the following month. File Clerk of District Court Report, November 2022, General Supplemental Fund Surcharge of $100.09. This is the end of the consent agenda. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
that was a pause for effect.
Yes.
Okay, if you think I'm not gonna let you off easy my last meeting, it's not gonna happen.
All right.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented and printed. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. All right, we're going to open the public hearing for the proposed budget decrease in appropriations and adopt resolution number 2022-0036 and 2022-0037. Nan, would either you or Maria like to speak to this?
This is reallocation again to cover our capital project spending. Was there any other departments we were doing any? Just capital projects.
Okay,
So basically to allow, we're decreasing the budget in ARPA and because those projects are further out, so they'll more likely be in next year, and increasing the budget in capital projects to allow for us to pay bills.
okay.
Maria's fussy that way. She won't let me do that.
Yeah, I know. Those doggone auditors, they have a tendency to be that way. Okay, if there is nothing else, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to close the public hearing.
Open it.
Actually, I thought we were
We
doing.
gotta open first.
We didn't open it, I'm sorry. I will entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
I would make a motion then to open the public hearing.
A second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to open the public hearing at 9:14 a.m. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Public hearing is now open at 9:14. At the public hearing, any resident may present objections or arguments in favor or part of the decrease in appropriations in the current 2022-2023 budget. Were there any written comments or oral comments received previous?
Oh, nothing
Zero?
received.
Okay, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. We have 11 individuals in the room at the public hearing. Are there any individuals that would like to present oral comments during the time allowed? Let the record state 0. Okay. Does any of the supervisors or the staff have any comments they would like to make on the public hearing?
No.
All right. Now, I will entertain a motion to close said public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to close the public hearing
I'll second.
at whatever time it is.
Yep. We have a motion and a second on the floor to close the public hearing at 9:15 a.m. Any comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Slosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes. Public hearing is now closed. Now, we must consider the adoption of resolution number 2022-0036, which is the budget decrease in appropriations for 2022-2023. I will entertain motions on this resolution.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to adopt resolution number 2022-0036, budget decrease in appropriations 2022-2023.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt this. And once again, we had 0 written comments or comments to the auditor recorder's office ahead of time.
Yes, and we're changing the number from 11 to 19 on the previous because of the 8 that are on the meeting virtually.
Okay.
And
I
so there's
was
still
not-
8 there, so we'll be 19 also for this one.
Okay, when we do have this room finished off, that won't happen again because there will be monitors that will be showing us at this level who is on. So we're going to 19. Do we need to go back and amend our previous motions
think we-
to open
we
the
just-
public hearing?
I don't think so. No,
Okay.
we'll just update that from 11 to 19.
All right.
Because nobody had any comments, or I know James would have stopped the meeting.
And James, nobody on Zoom wanted to make any comments either? All right. Please let the record reflect that there were 0 written comments on file with the auditor and recorder's office, and with Zoom, there are 19 individuals at public hearing, and that nobody made any oral comments or questions or objections. That being said, we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 2022-0036, budget decrease in appropriations for 2022-2023.
And it is an odd title, this is what we have to call it, but we're actually decreasing one and increasing another, so it
They offset.
really nets out 0, but this
Yep.
is what we're supposed to call it.
Okay. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Slosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Okay. Now we have resolution number 2022-0037, reappropriation of funds for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Under the same guidelines of what we have been working on. The listing of the reappropriations is here. Are there any questions on any of those before we adopt this resolution?
Should we list the changes that have been made?
We can, and the total is 39,458,909. 39,458,909, both in the current appropriation and the reappropriation. So it's just changing of funds.
The towers is one, the E91 towers is one.
Yes, sir.
911,
The only one that changed is the non-departmental 99 and capital project.
yeah, the other changes were a previous reappropriation.
Okay.
Okay. That being said, I'll entertain motion and a second to adopt resolution number 2022-0037, reappropriation of funds for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to adopt resolution 2022-0037, reappropriation of funds for FY 2022-2023. 23, can we cross off one of those threes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? Anybody on Zoom land? Okay. That being said, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8 on our agenda this morning are some personnel changes. The first one being to approve the treasurer's office change of status for Katie Scher from part-time to full-time with no change in wage increase, $17 per hour, effective 12/26/2022. I'll entertain motions on this change, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve Treasurer's Office status change of Katie Chair from part-time to full-time, no change in wage rate, $17, effective 12/26/2022.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this change of status. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8B on our agenda this morning is to approve a new hire for the Sheriff's Department, a jailer, Jose Sanchez, permanent full-time at $20.41 an hour, effective on or after 12/26/2022. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the hire, Sheriff's Department jailer. Is it Jose Sanchez? Okay, and permanent full-time, $20.41 per hour, effective on or after 12/26/2022.
I'll second.
Okay. Sheriff, do you have any comments on this before we approve this?
I'll let the board, this is gonna be a replacement for Rita Barnes, who retired earlier this year. So we welcome Jose to the Marshall County Sheriff's Office team as a jailer.
Well, let's welcome Jose and give Rita our best also. I hope she's enjoying her retirement. That being said, if there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 9 on our agenda this morning is to adopt resolution number 2022-0038, assessed taxable valuation of utility companies payable in 2023-2024. For the individuals that we need to keep reminding, the assessment of utility companies is done by the state, not our county assessors, so we take their funds and put them into our budget so that we can do our valuations and do everybody's budget. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-0038, assessed taxable values of utility companies payable 2023-2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 2022-0038, taxable valuations of utility companies payable in 2023-2024. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 10 on our agenda this morning is to approve the annual urban renewal report for the fiscal year 2021-2022. Dan, you want to speak to this for a moment? Or not? Okay. This is an annual urban renewal report that Whitney puts together in our auditor's department, and it talks
We
about
did the utility
Yep.
thing.
what the urban renewal report comes from. I believe that comes through there also. No? Okay.
Board of Adjustment and zoning.
And does this also include anything that has to do with the city, or is that separate?
It should be separate.
Okay. Because I know we do have a little bit of carryover because
Yeah.
the zoning goes, I think we've got a 2-mile perimeter around the city that goes into the county that they have to work with both.
Sherry, do you recall who this came from?
it did come from your department.
It came from Whitney?
Yeah.
This is not one I'm familiar with, so. I think it just flows through from the state, though.
I
Okay,
didn't read it, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'll entertain motions on this urban renewal report, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the annual urban renewal report fiscal year 2021 and 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this report. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes. Item number 11 on our agenda this morning is to approve a waiver for the Board of Adjustment, number 2022-VAR-6013 for James Zinis. I'll entertain motions on this approval, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve 2022-VAR-6013, a waiver of the subdivision requirement, allow new parcel of 2.5 acres in parcel 8319-22-200-007 and authorize the chair to sign.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve this variance, and that has already gone through our other committees. Any further comments, questions, or concerns?
Todd told me that this is a little 2.5 acre triangle down on 330 that they're trying to square up with the property that's next to it. So that's the process for this.
Okay.
Okay. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 12 is also a waiver this morning. Approved waiver from Board of Adjustment number 2022-VAR-6014 for Irene Etker. This is a waiver for a subdivision requirement to allow 2 new parcels for the purpose of dividing 2 tracts of farm ground and authorize the chairman to sign. Entertain motions on this approval, please.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve the waiver of BOA-2022-VAR-6014, Irene Octor.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Board of Adjustment variance number 2022-VAR-60-114. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, roll call vote, please, Sherry.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 13 on our agenda this morning is to approve the use of the Coliseum and rental agreement with the City of Marshalltown for court trials. This rental agreement will be with the City of Marshalltown for court jury trials in January and February and early March of 2023 at the Coliseum for 14 dates, $300 each, for a total of $4,200, and authorize the chair, county attorney, and auditor recorder to sign. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion then to approve the rental agreement with the City of Marshalltown for court jury trials in January, February, and early March 2023 at the Coliseum for 14 dates, $300 each, a total of $4,200, and authorize the chair, county attorney, or the auditor and recorder to sign.
Mr. Chair, I'd second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? Nan?
If these if these trial dates are canceled and we give 24-hour notice, then we will not be charged.
And we're not charged.
Yeah, so they've been real good to work with. Lucas got all the dates from Judge Miller and got those dates to the city, and they're working with us very
Okay.
nicely, so.
Because that happens very frequently where they settle out of
Things-
court.
Things
They-
change, and unfortunately, if it's less than 24, because sometimes it's an hour before that they
Yep.
settle, is what it is,
Yeah.
so.
So now, when are we officially going to be out of the
Orpheum?
We are supposed to be out at the Orpheum by this Friday. However, the moving company has contacted the courts. They were supposed to move them on Thursday of this week, and with the weather forecast, they're canceling and they want to do it on Tuesday. And we've got approval from the college. We all live in Iowa, so we do understand, so they're gonna move it out to Tuesday. And Lucas and his department then will go through and look for any repairs and cleaning that needs to be done prior to the transfer in January to the school district.
Well, the
Okay.
community college has always been very understanding and cooperative, and we'd like to thank them for all their assistance with the Orpheum and letting us use it these last few years. Very, very much appreciated. That being said, we have a motion and a second to approve this rental agreement. If there's no further comments, questions, or concerns, roll call vote, please, Sherry.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 14 on our agenda this morning is to appoint Steve Solosik to the E911 Communications Board, Marshall County Communication Board and Commission to replace Bill Patton. I'll entertain. You know, seeing as how we are replacing you with you, I'm going to make this motion. And you should probably second, seeing as how we're going to vote to
I'll do that,
appoint him.
yeah.
So I will make the motion to appoint Steve Solosik to the E911 Communication Board for Marshall County Communication Board and to replace Bill Patton.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to change the appointment of Steve Solosik to the E911 Board, replacing Bill Patton. If there's no further comments, questions, or concern,
Why was this individual chosen to replace Bill Patton?
Well,
you're gonna be the only surviving one of the three of us.
I see. All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes. You lost the flip. Actually, you've worked very hard with the communications and the new towers.
Little bit.
And you've got a real passion for this, and without question,
Okay.
you will be a very good appointment for this, to be on this commission. Any further?
I would concur, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Any further comments, questions, or concerns? There being none, roll call vote, please, Sherry.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes,
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries unanimously, even with the pause for effect.
Our frowny face, whatever.
You know, I can draw frowny faces if you need me to help you.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 15 on our agenda this morning is to adopt resolution number 2022-0039, establishing the Marshall County Radio Governance Board. Whereas Marshall County has acquired equipment for the operation of public safety communication, whereas it is in the best interest of Marshall County to establish the Marshall County Radio Governance Board, be it resolved that the Marshall County Radio Governance Board is established upon passage of this resolution, and the policy and bylaws are hereby adopted. This is dated in Marshalltown, Iowa, this 20th day of December, 2022. I'll entertain motions to adopt this resolution and authorize the chairman to sign.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to authorize, pardon me, I skipped clear down there. The Chairman, I would move to approve and adopt Resolution 2022-0039, establishing the Marshall County Radio Governance Board.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to establish this board. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns before we take this vote? Would you or maybe Sheriff Phillips or anyone else like to speak to some of the reasonings of putting this together and the hard work you guys have all done?
The people on this board would be the sheriff, a representative from the commission, and Evan Falk has stepped forward and agreed to do that. Then we have our 911, and then I'm having trouble reading my notes here. Kim Elder would be there for EMA, and Rhonda would be there for the 911 and the commission. And we have John, John Warden called yesterday and wished to not be on here. He said he's trying to get less and less things that he's involved in. And so I talked to John. I said we were going to go ahead and approve this, if that was okay with him, and then replace him just as soon as we get someone who would like to do that. And so that's the people working on this. They would be good people to represent this whole concept and come to the board, and also go to the 911 and commission board with their thoughts. Rhonda, would you have any other comments or things that you see on this?
Mr. Chair, no, or, I don't have any additional comments on it.
Okay.
We've put this together with the key players within this organization to be able to have this governance board. They have working knowledge of the systems. They work hand in hand with one another almost on a daily, if not several times a day basis. And it's extremely appropriate that the individuals and the positions that are being appointed to this and the creation of this are established.
Had a lot of help from Rhonda, from Sheriff Joel, and we looked at a number of other counties that have done this, and we didn't copy what the other counties did, but we certainly didn't have to. We didn't redo and reinvent the wheel. So a lot of the things that we put in here are tried and true in these other counties, and so I feel like this is a good move to get us down the road.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Pat?
May I ask a question
Certainly.
from here?
Please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Patrick Cornwell, Green Mountain Fire Chief. The only question I had was, for this topic was, with the list of memberships that's here, and in the, trying to save them an extra meeting and another board that they're a part of, could the technical oversight board or technical advisory committee, however it's called, could that board fill the role of this?
The role of those two boards are completely different. One is for governance of the system, and the other one is for technical oversight only. So it's really two different things. It just probably would not work.
I would concur with that. We didn't just throw this together overnight. Is this something that we had talked about and for a couple of months before we actually started putting it together? And the TOB, or technical oversight, their whole reason, they're a committee, and that's different than the governance board. And I guess
Okay,
that's
very
all-
well stated.
all I got to say. Yeah.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
I would just have a quick comment, and if anyone's looking for reference on who's the members, it would be Article 8, Section 6, and I think John Warden was possibly filling the E, Fire Chiefs Association.
At that moment, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
just to clarify that.
Okay.
Could the fire chiefs decide on who this individual can be?
No, we're going to decide that.
Okay.
It'll be an appointment.
Yeah,
right.
it'd be an appointment from the board.
Would you accept recommendations from the fire chiefs, or?
Let's let this thing ride down the road a little bit.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm not saying no, I'm just saying, let's just wait a little bit.
All right. Anything else? That being said, we have a motion and a second on the board, on the table to establish the Marshall County Radio Governance Board and authorize the chairman to sign. If there's no further comments or questions, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes. Okay, now moving right along is to item number 15A. This is a motion to appoint the members of the Marshall County Radio Governance Board. This is an appointment of the following members. The Marshall County Radio Governance Board will consist of Sheriff Joel Phillips, Communications Commission Director Rhonda Broadus, EMA Director Kim Elder, MCC Representative Evan Folk, Fire Chief John Warden, and non-voting board member of Supervisor Representative Steve Solosic. I'll entertain motions in a second for these appointments, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to appoint these members to the Marshall County Radio Governance Board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the appointment of these members for the governance board. Any further questions, comments, or concerns? There being none, Sherry, roll call vote, please.
Solosik.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. We're right on to item number 16 on our agenda today, which is public forum. This is a time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Man, what do you have for the good of the order today?
There is a retirement reception at the election center, recognizing Dave and Bill for their service as supervisors. Public is welcome to attend, so 11 a.m. down at the election center. Hope to see many of you there.
Anybody else have anything for the good of the order? John,
I can come too.
please come up and state your name and
My name is John Warden. I live at 407 Green Mountain Road in Green Mountain. And before I start, I want to say I understand that that Marshall County funds the libraries in Marshall County, and that the libraries in Marshall County divide up the amount they
Yes.
receive. Okay, I understand that. So, I'm here today at the county budget time to express objection to the use of public funds to support the Marshalltown Public Library. After attempting to and encouraged the MPL to add 2 periodicals to the shelves, it is apparent that the staff and board working together will censor and ban the suggested materials for purely political reasons. By objecting to provide the American Rifleman magazine, and the Epoch Times newspaper in print to the funding public, it also misses the opportunity to demonstrate leadership by being probably the first library in Iowa to provide those materials. According to the library's own Freedom to Read statement, the funding public has a right to read the suggested materials and others and come to its own conclusions, free of censorship and banning. Truth is, the MPL staff and board are followers and lack the motivation to put bias aside and serve the funding public at a higher level. They should resign and allow new, neutral individuals to put patrons' interests first. Are you funding a public library or a private book club?
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. I would highly recommend when the upcoming budget meeting comes up for the library, those are public meetings, you're free to attend. That would be an extremely appropriate time to express your opinion then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Harold?
Harold Lanning, 1994 Vine Avenue. I wanted to come today because I want to address Dave and I want to address Bill. I want to thank you two, and I'm not excluding you, Steve, but I want to thank you
should.
too.
Yeah, you are.
You really should.
Congratulations again.
You lost the flip again.
I want to thank you two gentlemen for your steady hand in running the business of Marshall County and controlling the taxes. And I'm really upset me during the campaign that the spending and the taxes were out of control. Yes, my taxes went up a little bit, but not extravagant and so forth as some claim. But you've had a full plate, this building, the ratio, and many other things, and you've always used the taxpayers' money very prudently and efficiently. You've spent the money on things that need to be done, roads, bridges, and you didn't spend it on a slab of concrete running out through the country that nobody uses and it goes nowhere. And I appreciate that, and that's due to you gentlemen's leadership, and I just hope that it continues. And I do have my concerns about that, but I guess we'll wait and see if that materializes again. And so, again, thank you for your diligence in performing the job and wisely spending our money. And I wish you the best of luck in whatever you choose to do. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Harold. Those were very kind words. You know, you've heard me say several times from this seat, or one of the seats up here, that good government requires active participation. I am an extremely firm believer in that. Of all the individuals over the years that have come to our meetings and expressed concerns or questions or comments about public funding or the way things have done, without question, you have been the one that has attended our meetings the most, and I want you to know I appreciate your input. We didn't always necessarily agree, but we always walked away as friends afterwards, and thank you for participating in county government. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order? Kim?
I can't let Nan talk, and I.
Yeah, that's just
Right?
weird.
No, I just too wanted to thank both of you and Steve too in the future for everything that you've done. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes with emergency management and 911 and a lot of the changes with the radio system, and so I appreciate everything that's been worked on. I want to especially thank Bill for serving on the Emergency Management Commission. He didn't always like knowing that he'd be on call when I was out of town, but the sheriff backed him up, so it was okay.
It gave me an opportunity to learn more about it, that's for sure.
There's definitely a lot going on in the last few years, and you know, with the disasters that we've faced, definitely a challenge at times. So I appreciate that very much. And just so you know that we will have an empty spot on that commission too. So we'll have to have somebody in that position. So, all right.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Both of you.
Anybody else for the good of the order?
Paul here, if I can have a second, guys.
Certainly.
First of all, thanks for your consistent service for your multiple terms. It's been really a pleasure working with you guys. And I just wanted to make sure everybody obviously is not going to be surprised that we're going to have a storm of some pretty good proportion this week. It looks like the only thing I've seen increase over the week has been the confidence that the National Weather Service has in this being a pretty serious event. With the winds and the low temps, there's going to be a couple of days where we'll be out and we may not accomplish much at all because of the wind and the snow that'll be moving. So I just want to, try to just get the word out that people need to prepare for possibly being snowed in for a couple of days, and we will be working hard at it until we get all the roads cleared out.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. I know
Anybody else? I'm sorry.
Well, being part of the group of people who work with machinery, I know in farming, when it gets to a certain temperature below zero, things break. And I know there's times when Paul has had to pull some of his equipment off the road, and it's not because it's too cold to go work, it's too cold for the machine to go work. And that may happen if we get some 15 below weather and stuff, so.
Yeah. We especially had that it's been a couple of years, but we had real temperatures of 30 below, and
Yeah.
it seemed that anything that would hit anything else was done. You know, we had to stop using wing plows because they would break, and it's a serious issue.
Guys, I would like to say, it's been an honor to be with you gentlemen, to serve with you gentlemen. You know, we've gotten along fairly well for being supposed to be, we are independent thinkers, and as supervisors, I know there's a lot of counties that there's a lot of infighting between supervisors, and that's never a good situation. So thank you for putting up with me and all the help you've given me. So it means a lot to me.
We've always worked together.
You're a good guy, Steve. We'll support you.
Okay.
Continue to support you, but I'm not going to put things in the paper or Facebook or things like that. You just know I'm there.
All right.
You know, I
Fair
would
enough.
agree. I think that's been one of the successes of this particular board over the years, is all of the members have always communicated extremely well with one another. They may have had different thought processes, but we all arrived at the proper conclusion and respected everybody else.
Absolutely.
And I think we've worked well together, all the boards over the years.
I hope you didn't feel that we sent you on little projects that we didn't want to do. That's never really been part of it, Steve.
Never, ever.
Other than it was, but okay.
Now, truth be known, you guys generally send me on the projects that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah.
But then you just put me back in my cage.
Sound room,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm going to quit talking.
Okay.
I'll get in trouble here.
Not a problem. Been 12 years. Everything good in my life has started either with an oath or a promise. My marriage, my service. I've taken all of those oaths and promises to heart. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve with each and every one of you. This has been a fantastic learning experience. I have made lifelong friendships and served with extremely talented and dedicated individuals, and each of you have been my rock at one time or another and made me better. We have followed the Constitution and the Code of Iowa faithfully, and you all know I am a nitpicker on that. The Founding Fathers warned us about debt, and I echo those thoughts, and I would certainly hope that our future leaders do the same. That oath swears, when you take it, to do the best of your abilities. I've tried very hard to do that, and each of one of you that are here today have enhanced those abilities by working with me, and I appreciate it. I can never say this enough. Good government requires active participation. Please continue in every facet that you can do that. I want to thank you all, and God bless America.
I wanted to thank my family. They supported me from the very beginning and allowed the time for me to come and do this. We switched things around the farm. Of course, Rosalie's got a list of when I'm not a supervisor anymore. And one of the lists is for things around the house, and the other is a list that she sees when she looks out the window. So hopefully the weather does turn better here pretty soon. We can start working on those things. But I do have a fine family, and they have supported me for the last 8 years, and I really appreciate that. While saying that, though, we've got a fine staff that we have here, and I've enjoyed working with the staff in all the departments. And you go in, and some days, all you had to do is just say, how's things going? Just so they knew we were thinking about them. But very, very, very good working conditions as far as I'm concerned. So I thank you all again.
Anything else for the good of the order? That being said, we're on to item 17 on our agenda today. This is adjournment. The next regular session is January 3rd, 2023 at 9 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the County Auditor and Recorder's Office or the Board of Supervisors' Office by Wednesday, December 28th, 2022 at 12 p.m. There being no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned at 9:56. Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you for coming, and have a wonderful day.